Hello, my lovely peaches. It's me, your favorite lovely peachy creator, with another video. I thought this was going to be an add-on to the video that I just posted yesterday, the short, but as usual, it's on video. For anybody who wonders, why does it even matter? Why do these little phrases matter? Why does it matter what manifesting phrases are, or what do these commonly regurgitated phrases actually mean versus what people claim they mean? Why does it matter at all? The reason it matters is it goes back to a very powerful teaching that I learned in the Lojong slogans, which are 59 Buddhist phrases to help. They're called mind training slogans. And slogan number 9 is, in all things train with slogans. The reason that slogans help mind train or emotional train is because it's something that you can easily remember. You can say it to yourself. You can say it like a mantra or an affirmation. But you need to know what the real meaning behind the slogan or the phrase is in order to even train properly. It's like somebody who's running, but their gait is all wrong. And so they're actually injuring themselves. They're hurting their knee and their hips and their spine and their neck and on and on. And they think they're training for strength, but they're actually injuring themselves. So along that same path of thinking, if you are commonly using a phrase like, what you desire desires you, or everyone is you pushed out, or I can manifest any specific person. If you're using these phrases, but you actually don't understand what it really means, then you can actually spend years of your life harming yourself, just as a person can use meditation as a spiritual bypass, as a way to avoid healing, as a way to, good thoughts only, and not ever do the deep dives and the shadow work, which means to get into healing your traumas. So why I wanted to say this, what's the point of even clarifying these phrases if they're wrong? Because they're still very useful. And if you know what they can really mean, then you can know what they can really do for you. And then in that way, you can say to yourself something like, everyone is me pushed out, and I know what that means. I know that means I need to align myself with where I want to be so that I can energetically call that tribe, so to speak, the people who will be attracted to who I am based on what I want to attract, versus just attracting people to you with no understanding of how it's happening or why it's happening, and how how I am the cause or the whole vibe in the first place. So that's why slogans matter so much, and to know what they really mean so you can actually use them to your benefit. That's a manifesting tool that can help you. That's the purpose of this video, as well as many of my videos. This morning, I heard Aaron Doty, who I love, I've been following him for years, say something on a live stream that was exactly what I've been saying in this video, which is we manifest, we push out into our experience based on wherever we are. So what he said, which was so perfect, is you're always in alignment with something. You're either in alignment with, and now this is me adding, you're either in alignment with your highest intention or your healthiest way of relating, or you're in alignment with an unhealthy way of relating. And what you're going to get out of your experience is what you're putting into it. I knew there was another way that I meant to describe what my understanding of the term everyone is you pushed out, which I believe is originally quoted by Neville Goddard. Another thing that I believe it means, other than, your energy attracts
like energy. Everyone is you pushed out. However you show up is what you're going to attract to yourself. So if you are not self-loving, if you're living in lack or in some negative mind state, the person who's going to end up attracted to you, and even you being attracted to the person you're going to be attracted to, is going to be based on where you're at. So everyone is you pushed out basically means wherever you're at in your life is who you're going to be attracting and who you're going to be attracted to. So if you're somebody who's eating a certain type of food all the time, you're probably going to want to hang out with people who kind of like to eat that way. So if it's like, I'm always eating fast food and I'm always eating, I don't know, barbecue, then you're probably going to want to hang out, or you're probably going to end up attracting and being attracted to people who like to eat fast food and barbecue, because that just makes sense. Likewise, if you're vegan and you want to eat healthy, plant-based, you're probably more likely to be attracted to and to attract people like that. Now, side note, for me, I haven't found that many people, but also I don't really get out that much. So I'm sure when I get out, I did work at a vegan restaurant, so there's that, and I have I don't want to work somewhere where the basis of what we're doing is very strongly not vegan, like serving meat. Okay, so the point is that you're going to attract and be attracted to whatever you are at that point. So if you like to go bowling all the time, then you're probably going to end up being attracted to and attracting people who are in that zone. So what I'm saying specifically is, like, for example, another example is if you are not a healthy person when it comes to romantic relationships, or you don't know how to be in a healthy romantic relationship, or you have all these faulty and junky belief systems about romantic relationships, then you will probably attract people who are also in that same place. So, for example, when I was absolutely in no way ready to have a commitment or to be genuinely intimate with myself and then therefore with another person, I was always saying things to myself and to others like, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have kids, I don't want a commitment. And who would I end up being attracted to and being attracting to me? People who didn't want to get married, people who didn't want to have kids, people who didn't want a commitment. And not shockingly, those relationships were always ended up being very painful and also abusive. But that's the point, that wherever you are, wherever you're at, that's what you're going to attract and be attracted to. So if you're in an unhealthy place and you are really attracted to somebody who's very healthy, they are not going to want you. This is assuming that you would even be attracted to somebody who's healthy. But if you are attracted to someone who's healthy, maybe you are ready to become healthy, or you see something that looks healthy and you're attracted to that, but you're not ready for it, or you're not developed enough, you're not evolved enough, you're not healthy enough. But that can be a catalyst of your own growth. That can be the catalyst for your own inspiration to start to do the work to become a healthy person. But that person who's healthy, who you're attracted to right now, if they're healthy, they're not going to wait around for you. So unless you're able to do the work fast enough to attract them quickly enough for it to be that person who ends up being the one for you, most likely that person, the healthy one that catalyzed you into inspiration to become healthier, is not going to be the right one for you. And that's okay. Start where you are. And if you're already in an unhealthy situation with an unhealthy person and you've been unhealthy and now you are ready to grow and heal and develop, just because you're ready to do those things may not mean that the person you're already involved with will be ready or even want to. So just allow yourself to evolve and grow the way you need to without feeling the need to cling to someone else's growth, and without it having to depend on whether or not they also grow with you, or whether or not they actually evolve
and continue being the person that you've wanted them to be, but they haven't been able to be, or allow yourself to move away from that person if that's what's required in order for you to walk through the door of love with a healthy person who you may not even know who they are right now. But when you start to become the person who would need, when you start to become the person that you would need to be in order to attract that person to you, then the person who's not a good match will probably fall away. Either you will walk away from them, or they will walk away, and or both. Maybe they'll cling to you, but you'll have to pull away if you want to heal, even if it means being single and or celibate for 8 years, like me. You don't have to do it like me. This is just what I needed and wanted for my own healing and the time that I needed to take. So everyone is you pushed out, and we can manifest the right SP means, to me, become the person you want to be, become the person you need to be in order to be the person in the relationship you want for yourself, and then the person who would want you in that capacity, and the person who would match you, and you would be able to know because of how they're investing and showing up, will be able to see you and actually be attracted to you. You've got to do the work to get there.
Okay, this is why I like to make the caveat that if the person you're obsessed with being your SP, who's rejecting you or said no to you or just not with you or whatever, not interested, if they are somehow magically your right person through all the odds and everything, the only way that that's probably going to work is if you become aligned with what's actually your truest self, and they also on their own become aligned with their own truest self, and then the two attract, you will attract to each other. That's why I was saying earlier, when I'm saying it's so difficult to change, you can't even control or change yourself, meaning most people do not have a lot of control, self-control over their thoughts or even their desires or their moods or even understanding where it all comes from, okay? And of course there are people, yes, of course most people control themselves in general, but I'm saying control at the level of I'm actually going to do some real cognitive changes here. I am going to change my lifestyle because I'm going to change my mindset. I'm going to change my way of existing, and it's going to change. I'm going to change my income bracket. I'm going to change my body. I'm going to change my fitness level. I'm going to change my relationships from not as healthy to healthier. All of that kind of change takes a lot of discipline. When I'm saying control yourself, I'm not talking about going to the bathroom or not cursing or not slapping your boss, or not running to the store and stealing things or driving your car in a crazy way. Those types of controls, yes, we have basic control over ourselves, but to control yourself to such a degree where you can sit and meditate, or you can actually deeply go into your shit, your trauma, and analyze it, and then not just analyze it, but actually go in there and mechanic your shit different, okay? That takes a lot. And it has to come from within. It has to. Anyone who has ever loved anyone who wasn't showing up the way you wish they did knows that you can't just will them to be different. Okay, and the point is, this everyone is you pushed out deal is you are going to attract whoever you're going to attract in your life, circumstances, situations, money opportunities, job opportunities, friendships, romance, and your general life is going to be attracted to you based on what you're showing up as. So everyone is you pushed out, everything is you pushed out means, if you want to up-level life, you better up-level yourself, basically. Up-level your thoughts, up-level what you're thinking about. Everyone is you pushed out Neville Goddard, what I believe it means can also refer to when we are aligned with our purpose or our best desires for ourselves. Those who are the ones that, when I say you're aligned, desires you back, and that's in reference to a romantic specific person. Those people, the ones who would desire you back, those who are the ones who would be the aligned desiring us back, then they can see and feel us when we are aligned. So when you are aligned with we are aligned with our purpose or best desires, those who are aligned, those who are the ones who would fulfill that wish of, your aligned desiring you back, those are the ones who can see and feel us when we're aligned. So it's like, another way to say this is, if you want a monogamous romantic partner who desires to get married and have a family and be close and intimate and sexual and be best friends and support each other and like a power couple kind of thing, if that's what you want to attract into your life, you've got to be that. You've got to be a partner who's faithful and monogamous. And who do you partner with first? Yourself. Be the partner to yourself that you need and desire out in the world. And then that person who's looking for a partner like that will see you and say, oh my God, look at that person. She has partnered with herself to make her own life amazing, or he has. And I would love to partner with that person. You can't sit around not being the thing and then expect the thing to come and want to be with you. That's not how it works. And you can't just will from thinking and wishing, I really wish Bob would be my husband, and I want Bob to want all the things that I said I want Bob to want. Why bother? Like, why go through the middleman? Why fuck with the middle? Why do, like Dooley says, why get caught up in the weeds of the cursed who's? The universe or source or God or spirit guides or just the nature of how things work will sort it out for me. Who is going to be my husband? Once I start focusing on, I'm the wife that I want to be for me, and I'm ready to receive this man and all the qualities that I want him to have, which Bob doesn't have, or maybe Bob does have. Who knows? Maybe he'll be the one to walk through, but most likely it's not going to be, and I'm not going to fucking care because I'm going to be really happy with my brand new mate, and I'm not going to be sheepish that it isn't Bob because I realize that's probably how things are going to turn out.
Man, they want to be happily married. But I have gone to so many weddings where it was either that man or none, and it wasn't that man. And they're embarrassed when they see me standing in the aisle, because it had to be that man or no man, and here it isn't that man at all. And they walk down. They're happy with their new mate, but a little sheepish as they pass by, because they know I know he was not the man. You want to be happily married. All right, go to the inn. You're happily married. Then let him come. Clothed in all that it takes to be happy in your world.
And I just want to help a few of you realize it a little sooner so you can let go of Bob or Babs and just let the one who really truly wants you want you. What I did learn about this obsession is, like, I was obsessed with him, but he was obsessed with somebody else. And then there was somebody else obsessed with me that I had no interest in. You see how it goes? It's like, how about I just break this whole cycle of, I don't want to be obsessed, and I don't want to be like not present or real. I want to push out the real thing. So first you got to push it out of yourself. You got to push out of yourself what you want to attract into you.
And the main point and takeaway of this for my powerful manifestors, is that you're going to pull into your experience whatever you're going to experience based on where you are. And when you change what you are aligned with, when you change what you are thinking, and you change your belief systems, and you change what your intentions are, the people around you may change, the specific person may change into a different way of showing up, or much more likely, what's much more likely to happen is that you will move away from being around those people who you were attracted to before, and you will start to be attracted to new people. Okay, so what a lot of so-called manifesting coaches try to teach is you change what you're aligned with, and then the person that you're trying to deal with, Bob, is also going to change. And what I'm saying is that's most likely not the case. And it doesn't matter. True manifesting does not require that you change Bob. It requires that you stop fucking with Bob. That's what it's going to require. You're going to stop fucking with Bob because Bob is not aligned with the new version of who you are. Now, if Bob happens to be aligned with that, and Bob did the changes, and you've done the changes, and you've mutually together changed and grown, then great. Then it can be Bob. Okay? The point is trying to focus your manifestation on whether Bob changes or not is a waste of your time. It's a total waste of your time. Everyone as you pushed out does not mean Bob is going to be whoever you are. What it means is you are going to attract into your experience and your manifested reality whatever is aligned with who you are right now. So if you are an alcoholic, abusive person, you're going to be attracted to somebody who's going to put up with that shit, who's either very unhealthy or who also is an alcoholic, abusive person, or somebody who that's what's familiar to them. Maybe they had an alcoholic, abusive parent, and so now that's what seems familiar. And either that person gets healthy and realizes, I don't want to be with this unhealthy person anymore, and they move on, or the person gets healthy and that person's not ready to be healthy. You know, like you can't make somebody change just because you've changed. It's like the ex-boyfriend that I was talking about on my video the other day, who has for 20 years been emailing me inappropriately and on and off threatening me. Girl, bruh, I've been done changed. I changed years ago. That's not gonna make that motherfucker change. No. What's the point? It comes from such a lackful place, and that's why it doesn't work.
But I will say, the moment I really pushed back with my new attitude to that ex-motherfucker and said, you know what, I am going to the police because what you're doing is illegal and harassing. He switched up his tone, his everything. Oh, but I didn't mean it. Oh, no. So hopefully that scared him off and I'll never hear from him again. But I am going to follow through because he's a fucking creep. And that's a new attitude and a new circumstance.
Okay, and same thing with my sister-in-law. Yes, I can make intentions like, I'm going to go to Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not going to start shit. I'm going to do my best to not be reactive, to just go with the intentions of having a nice time. And I cannot control what she's going to do. I cannot control how she's going to behave. I cannot control what she's going to say. I can put the intention on myself that I'm going to show up. I'm going to be nice. And I'm not going to get into any heavy conversation. And if she decides that, I told my brother, please make it clear. I am not looking to clear the air or hash nothing out on Thanksgiving, okay? If she has that intention, I can't control her, but I can walk away. I can go outside. I can go into another room, or maybe most likely she's not going to bring it up anyhow. But I can't control her.
My intention with my sister-in-law tomorrow, Thanksgiving, is I'm going to go there friendly and lighthearted. And my intention is that she's going to be friendly and lighthearted. I know she's going to want to do the best thing for the family, just like me. So we can get through a couple of hours of hanging out and being friendly, just like at my birthday, me and my nephew's birthday party at my sister's house last month. She was friendly to me, and I didn't know she was still harboring all those negative feelings. But my intention is it's going to be fun. And that's most likely her intention too. And that's most likely going to be the outcome, because we're both aligned with that outcome. And then when those who are not aligned with where you intend to be show up into your reality, your intention of being where you intend to be will help guide you. Like with my terrible ex who harasses me on and off, I had intended before that I was just going to basically stay silent, but occasionally, let him know I'm not interested in you, and even be kind of mean. But this time I finally, basically his threats used to make me afraid to really let him have it, because I was afraid when I finally say, you know what, F you, that he would then turn around and post the things that he's been threatening to post. Knowing the way this person is, he's probably posted things anyway. And I now found out through his best friend, his former best friend that I had become friends with when we were together, that this motherfucker actually harassed his now former best friend's wife's friends who he never even dated. So I now know that I absolutely have to push forward, because he is a serial harasser. Okay? But my new mindset, my new mind state says, I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm going to push back to it so I can get you to stop. Stop hurting me, and maybe even stop hurting other people. And then with my sister-in-law, like I said, I can't control what she's going to do. And all I can do is to go there with the best intentions, so that if and when she says something that might have normally triggered me into having an argument I didn't want to have, or saying things I don't really want to say in front of the whole family, or taking a day that's meant to be a celebration where all of us get together, which is something we only do a couple times a year, and using that as a very inappropriate place to have this, whatever her issues are with me, however valid they are or not, tomorrow is not the place. So whether I'm willing to hear her out on another day, that's up to me to decide. But I've decided it's not going to happen tomorrow. So I'm going to go, I'm going to be friendly, and I'm just going to have fun. And I'm going to kind of stay away from her. I kind of have something I want to give her. I wanted to give her, and then I was like, no, fuck it, I'm not going to give it to her. Now I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I am going to give it to her, because fuck it, whatever. It's Thanksgiving. It's Indigenous Day, People's Day of Remembrance. And I'm going to go with an open, kind heart, but also with the intention that says I am going to be in charge of my energy. I'm not going to let somebody else's intention, whether her intention is to have a good time or her intention is to confront me, which I doubt it, but let's just say if it was, I get to decide what my intention is. So I get to say, I'm going to have a fun time. If she wants to have a fun time too, great, we'll have a fun time. I want to have a fun time. If she wants to have an argument or a confrontation, well, I'm not going to fall into the trap. I'm going prepared with positive intentions. I can't control how she's going to show up. I can set the best intention and then stick to the script that I've got for myself, which is go have fun with your family, get in, get out. See you next time.
Is you do your best, you be your best, you show up how you want to show up, and the people who will match wherever you are, that's who's going to show up. Okay? So that's my thoughts on everyone as you pushed out. Have a great holiday, or whatever time of year it is when you're watching this. Bye. See you in the next one.
No, my dear, you were sowing when you imagined. Imaginal acts are sowing. But we do not recognize our own harvest when we see the imaginal act projected on the screen of space. We say, I could never imagine a thing like that, but we must have, or we could not encounter it. So the act of imagining is sowing. And in its own good time, it crops out from that unseen journey and appears on the screen of space, and you see it. but you don't always recognize your harvest. But I'll tell you one thing, do not concern yourself with the means. Always go to the end, dwell in the end, and you'll hurt no one. But if you try to devise the means, you're, well, messing the whole thing up. I've had people say to me, I want that man and no other man. I said, no, you don't. You want to be happily married. You don't want that man or no man. Oh, yes, that man or no man. Then, of course, this always shocks them. I said, if he dropped dead right now, would you want to be married? Well, he isn't going to drop. I didn't ask you that. If he dropped dead right now, or if he's right this very moment accused of being the world's greatest thief or murderer, you still want him? Well, now, why ask those questions, Neville? I want that man. But you see, it isn't that man. They want to be happily married. Well, I have gone to so many weddings where it was either that man or none, and it wasn't that man. And they're embarrassed when they see me standing in the aisle. Because it had to be that man or no man, and here it isn't that man at all. And they walk down, they're happy with their new mate, but a little sheepish as they pass by. Because they know, I know, he was not the man. You want to be happily married. All right, go to the end, you're happily married. Then let him come. Clothed in all that it takes to be happy in your world. He doesn't have to be some matinee idol. Watch their so-called world.
Now I am going to say exactly what he said, that the captions were unclear and or maybe it wasn't clear what he was saying. I want that man or no man, and then he says, oh no you don't want that man or no man, you want to be happily married. And they say, no, I want that man or no man. Then of course he says, would you want that man if he were to drop dead right now, or if he was accused as the world's worst thief or murderer? Then of course there's always shock.
You don't want that man or no man. Oh yes, that man or no man. Then of course this always shocks them.
Then of course this always shocks them. I said, if he dropped dead right now,
would you want to be married?
Would you want to be married?
What?
What?
He isn't going to drop.
He isn't going to drop.
I didn't ask you that.
I didn't ask you that.
If he dropped dead right now,
If he dropped dead right now,
or if he's right this very moment accused,
or if he is right this very moment accused
of being the world's greatest thief,
of being the world's greatest thief
or murderer,
or murderer,
still want him?
you still want him?
Well, now why ask those questions, Neville?
Well, now why ask those questions, Neville?
I want that man.
I want that man.
But you see, this isn't that man.
Well, you see, it isn't that
They
man.
want to be happily married.
They want to be happily married.
But I have gone to so many weddings.